Engaging.
Unique.
Family.
Diverse.
Stimulating.
My word would be silly. We're silly.
What is your favorite memory from living in the Global LLC?
One of my favorite memories from living here was first block. We took a trip to the cabin, and it was really fun. We didn't really know each other that well, but it was still a very fun trip, a good bonding experience. And then also just thinking about how much we've grown since then, and how much more comfortable we all are around each other. I think it was a very exciting place to live, and I'm very glad I lived here.
I remember there was a film screening about the Liberian Civil War. Even though it wasn't a compulsory event for the LLC, everyone in the LLC actually did show up, and there was a lot of concern and a lot of questions after the movie, which I was very moved, considering I'm from Liberia. And a week after the movie, people were still asking about issues in Liberia and Africa in general, and I was just very moved.
What are you going to miss most about the Global LLC?
I think I'm gonna miss a lot of things, but most of them revolve around the people in the LLC. I mean, it's pretty cool to walk outside your room and hear accents from 4 different continents in one place. I don't think I've ever lived in a place like that before. And it's a pretty silly bunch, I'd say. So I'm gonna miss that. And I think just hearing all the different opinions from the different people and where they come from, because we're probably one of the most diverse groups on campus, and I've never lived in a community with so many different kinds of people and different thought processes. So I think I'm going to miss all of that.
One of the things that I will miss most about our LLC are actually the meetings that we have. We have the meetings twice a block, and usually we have a nice dinner during the meeting, and then we have Achini and Sarai initiate a discussion or different activities, or we watch documentaries. During these activities, what I appreciate the most is that we're all there, first of all, and that you can really see people, and you can see them getting really passionate and really fired up about certain things. It's very powerful to be challenged by having all these different people with different backgrounds, with different views, and still feel very strongly about cooperating with those people, even though it's sometimes very difficult.
So the impact the Global LLC had on me last year, one, it was just a really great environment in meeting people that I necessarily would not have really made the effort to get to know before, and the fact that we could come together with all our different ideas and really have amazing discussions and to build bonds that will last a lifetime. Like one example is Sarah Robbins and I, we worked Peace Jam together, a new club on campus that I started with another friend, and it's just been really phenomenal to really take living in the same hall with her to actually doing projects and events on campus, and so that's just been a great experience. The other one is Naveen and I, who was my roommate last year, have continued to live together this previous year, this sophomore year, in the Glass House, and just really taking our passions to a new level, and just to really create those bonds in that community, and to be a part of something so amazing, and to have been a part of the start of something so amazing.
So basically, around first block this year, I decided to take up the initiative of organizing a 9/11 memorial walk for the 10th anniversary of 9/11. And this was a walk, a sort of global movement, so it was happening in collaboration and coordination with other walks happening around the country and even different places of the world. And the idea was pretty much to shift away from basically a lot of fear and prejudice that overwhelmed the aftermath of 9/11 and shifting that focus to something more of trust and unity. It's a good time on a beautiful day.
Alright, one of the main events that we did in our LLC is organizing movie or film screening. And one of the movies that we watched was A Countdown Zero, which is about lessening nuclear weapons and making it zero in our world. And as a South Korean citizen, it was kind of interesting where North Korean governments and other communities who has a nuclear weapon are constantly threatening our world. And it was good experience for us to get awareness of such dangerous events of making nuclear weapons. And it makes really sense because in South Korea we recently held a nuclear conference among other countries' chairmen and stuff. So I think it was really good experience for other people to know what's going on in the world about nuclear weapons.
I thought that the movie screening we had for Countdown to Zero was incredibly important for CC community and the Colorado Springs community in general. Just because when you walk, around campus or down the street, you don't hear a whole lot of discussion about nuclear proliferation, but it's still a very urgent topic that needs to be discussed. And I actually based a speech on nuclear proliferation on the movie for my American politics class, and a lot of the feedback that I got was that a lot of students didn't know that this was such a huge issue. So I'm definitely glad that the LSE took initiative to get that issue out there.
Hi. Oh, hi.
I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Abby. And we're here to talk to you about the Hunger Banquet, which we put on with Amnesty International,
another student organization, and they were thinking of doing a similar event, and it was really fun to work with them and kind of branch out.
Yeah. And we used an Oxfam structure, so that was cool bringing in that as well.
So the Hunger Banquet it's a dinner, and you set up the room, so there's 3 different socioeconomic statuses displayed, and each person gets like a card that brings them to one of these.
The card has a character on it, so they really get to feel what their character is feeling.
Yeah. And so the low income, they got rice sat on the floor and
no utensils.
And then the high income was at a big table, all fancy, and got served their dinner.
Throughout the event, we facilitated discussions.
We had written out questions that we and each of
us
hoped
to spur a discussion. But each of us was sitting at a table or in a group on the floor.
And it went really well. We got a lot of discussion going. We also then brought it out again to a big group discussion on how the groups felt. The high income actually gave a lot of their food to the low income.
Yeah.
Because
they felt really guilty.
Yeah, guilt was
having all the food.
A big thing that people felt being in the high income group.
And the middle income gave their beans to the low income.
Yeah.
So everyone was really sharing. And
yeah, it's kind of because we don't see the other side so much, but when it's really in your face, and you realize how lucky you are.
People said it was a great learning experience, and I think it's true. We got note cards back telling us what people thought of the events, and everyone had a really positive view of the event.
Yeah, a lot of people. It was just, there's a lot of hard topics, how do you solve global world hunger, it's kind of a big one, but, and just getting people thinking about that in such a situation, I think was really cool.
It was a great physical demonstration of how much food individuals and from different societies do receive, from developing to developed, and just the portions people eat daily, if that. And so it was something at the time I was discussing in class because I was in inequality with Jeff Livesay, and that of course was mostly American based, but same concepts. And so it was just a further example of why I personally continue to work on social justice issues on and around campus, about the world, and to really get the word out there for those who do not have the access and the resources to represent themselves.
My project for the year is starting a non-profit organization in Sri Lanka, an organization dedicated to cancer awareness and prevention. I recently lost my mother to cancer, and I think my experience as a community advisor in this community really trained me to look at the bigger picture behind these individual problems. And I was able to see that late cancer diagnosis is something a lot of Sri Lankans experience because there's very little talk or education on the subject. People sometimes think that cancer has something to do with their past karma, so they would really rather not talk about it. My organization will work with Sri Lankan people with their common cultural beliefs to transform the general attitude towards cancer. And I will be incorporating the beliefs about karma and one's responsibility to do good things for other people through offering opportunities for children through their schools and to men and women through religious and other organizations to create and donate things that are essential for the comfort and care of cancer patients. And throughout this process, they will be educated about the cancer symptoms and when it is good to see a doctor, and in case of a positive diagnosis, what affordable treatment methods are available. The goal is to educate people about the importance of early detection and regular checkups, and ultimately increasing the survival rate of cancer in Sri Lanka.
During 6 Block this year, I had the amazing opportunity to travel to Jaisalmer, Rajasthan, where I worked with a community of untouchable musicians in the Thar Desert. But when I was in India, I was working with this group of untouchable musicians, and they really provided me with this incredible opportunity to live a completely different lifestyle and really invest in the community. I didn't feel like an outsider when I was there. I really felt like these people were my family and they were taking care of me. And I worked in a small school started by the organization Folk Art Rajasthan, teaching, and I taught basic first aid, CPR, and basic anatomy. This is the digestive system, this is the respiratory systems and things like that. I think I was feeling very trapped inside of CC, which is such an amazing place, but it doesn't sometimes feel as connected to the outside world. And I think that my motivation to really pursue that came out of being a part of such a diverse living community. And it's changed me and helped me grow in so many ways, and I'm extremely thankful and grateful, and I mean, there's no words to express how much this experience has meant to me, but I feel very blessed, and definitely encourage other students to pursue their desires and their passions and the things that help them to grow.
I want the LLC, especially the Global LLC, just to be continued as a place, a close-knit community where people are comfortable to discuss ideas and challenge each other and really get to the core of what they believe is true and what they're going to kind of a step towards their understanding their purpose and why they're here, whatever that might be.
Oh.